So here we've got another Agenda 47 video. This one is called Firing the Radical Marxist Prosecutors, Destroying America. Interesting. I like that title.
There is no more dire threat to the American way of life than the corruption and weaponization of our justice system, and it's happening all around us. If we cannot restore the fair and impartial rule of law, we will not be a free country. As president, it will be my personal mission to restore the scales of justice in America. We want fairness and equality under the law, and to that end, I will appoint U.S. attorneys who will be the polar opposite of the Soros district attorneys and others that are being appointed throughout the United States. Very unfair to our population, very unfair to our country.
Nice.
They will be the 100 most ferocious legal warriors against crime and communist corruption.
100. So does he already have a list? I'm kind of curious about that, because the way the rhetoric from the mainstream media has made things out to be, it sounds like Donald Trump is at worst scrambling, and at best sort of plotting and planning in the moment who his cabinet is going to be filled with. I would think that you would just have all those names ready, but it seems like it's sort of like coming out as a slow news drip. So I guess, did he have those 100 judges down like in April of 2023? That's impressive if so.
That this country has ever seen. As we completely overhaul the Federal Department of Justice and FBI, we will also launch sweeping civil rights investigations into Marxist local district attorneys. And that's what we have. They're Marxists in many cases. By refusing to charge countless crimes, these Soros prosecutors appear to be engaging in selective enforcement based on illegal racial discrimination.
While that's true, the problem with this is usually that these DAs are local at the state level. I don't think Trump can fire state DAs. I could be wrong, but I just don't think that's the case.
In Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and every other city
He's
where
not
these maniacs...
He's not the mayor of Chicago. He's not the mayor of San Francisco or Los Angeles. I don't think he has the power to do what he's talking about. But he can push for those things to happen. But the problem is that, of course, these places are run by Democrats, which is why they are the way they are in the first place.
have taken over. The DA's offices should face federal subpoenas of their staff, their emails, and their records to determine whether they have blatantly violated federal civil rights law. As part of this effort, there should be a
what civil rights laws would they be? I'm a little bit confused about that.
Federal inquiry into the Soros prosecutor in Austin, Texas, who charged a veteran with murder for defending himself against a threat by a heavily armed member of a radical left mob. I will also order the Department of Justice to establish a task force on protecting the right to self-defense, which is under siege nationwide. In addition, we will have a complete investigation into the use of police state tactics by federal authorities to...
Okay, all the federal stuff I'm on board with. But my thing is, when you have state prosecutors who are corrupt or whatever, is it the DOJ's jurisdiction to like go after that? And also, let's say George Soros has like paid and bought and paid for all of the DAs across various states. Let's say that's the case for the sake of discussion, purely for the sake of discussion. I don't think it's within the federal scope to combat that. Okay, if George Soros is violating federal law in sponsoring prosecutors or whatever, then I can get on board with that. I would just like to see what law that is first. It sounds like a bad thing that crooks and criminals do, but I'd like to see what law that violates and what federal law that violates before I say, okay, I'm a big fan of Trump going through and getting rid of all these guys.
Arrest conservatives and Christians. We will find out who ordered it, and we will hold them totally accountable. There is much more that we must do. We have to confront this radicalized law in schools. You take a look at what they've done to our schools, our beautiful schools. We have to reform the far-left bar associations and stop the purge of conservative lawyers from major law firms. I will do whatever it takes to save our legal system among the greatest achievements of Western civilization from the Marxist barbarians who seek to destroy it. And we will do that. We will save it. Thank you very much.
Well, Donald Trump isn't going to be able to save us, but you know, I appreciate him trying. Yeah, I agree with that generally. 100% on board with him going after all the federal prosecutors, but state levels, nah. If you guys want your crime, if you guys want crime to be stopped, in your various states, lobby for your DAs to be replaced. If your governors are replacing the DAs, replace your governors legally, of course. Not talking about by force. Come on, you know, that's the way. That's how it should be done.